Hello, America. It's time for Uncle Sam Says. My heartfelt thanks goes out to all you folks who've been listening to my stories. I've been hosting this radio program, Uncle Sam Says, True Stories of Our Founding Fathers, for the last 9 years, and I've loved doing it. While doing the research for my stories, I've learned so many reasons why I love our country. I know that America is great because America is good. I have found literally hundreds and hundreds of true stories that prove beyond any doubt that America is the greatest nation the world has ever seen. I tell these stories knowing full well that there are satanic forces that do not want them told. These satanic forces are known to us as the critical race theory people, the woke people, and all the others that try to demean our great nation. They do it by lying to our youth and by demeaning the great leaders of our past. They tell lies about them and cast them as evil because they were succeeding in the society they lived in. Slavery was part of that society. I tell many stories that explain that it was our Constitution that God created and then used to outlaw slavery all over the world. Another reason that these satanic people don't want you to listen to my stories. George Washington was one of the greatest men who ever lived. I tell many stories of his physical abilities alone. He was possibly the greatest athlete in the colonies. He's called the father of our nation because he was. He was simply the greatest man in the history of our country. I revere him in the same category as the warrior prophets that speak to us from the Bible. You see, he too had a vision from God. It was during the dark days of the Valley Forge, and it took 2 of my stories to tell about this vision. The angel who came to him told him that there would be 3 perils to this nation. He was in the middle of the first peril. The second was the Civil War and the World Wars. The third great peril was to be the worst, and is the time we're living in right now. We have many watchmen on the towers who are warning us. These watchmen, like Sean Hannity, Glenn Beck, Mark Levin, and even Donald Trump, are telling us that the 2024 election may be our last, if we get to have it. Our country is dying. The enemy is within our walls, and our republic is no longer the world's bastion of equal opportunity under the law. There is no longer blind justice, only political expediency. During the very dark days of the Revolutionary War, we knew we were failing then, too. We were losing. Our soldiers could buy nothing because their continental script was worthless. The British soldiers had gold, and they could buy anything they wanted. We were desperate. Congress had no power at all and could only beg for support from the colonies. Finally, they sent out an appeal. It was to all the shopholders. You see, back in those times, most of our people were self-employed. It was almost a trademark of an American. We owed our own lives. That was, we owned our own lives, and were not subject to a king or a monarch of any kind. That is why we were called Yankees. An American was called a Yank or a Yankee because he was his own man. He owned his own life. American Yankees were feared, respected, and loved all over the world. Everybody knew that an American Yankee was different and not to be messed with. Well, Congress sent out an appeal to all American Yankees. It basically said that if your shop or home or farm or business had anything that the British might want, please burn it down. If you try to not sell it to them, they'll just take it from you anyway. Burn it down. Thousands of American Yankees did just that. Even though they were already feeling the terrible effects of the war, they grabbed their cans of kerosene and they doused it all over their homes, their shops, even their fields of wheat or corn or hay. They killed their cattle and horses, and then went into abject poverty, hunger, and terror. I thank God every day that today it is different, at least for now. Right now we can still fight with a full stomach and a fully stocked Walmart right down the road. But how shall we fight? Guys, We must fight with the same weapons that they use. Up to now, thank God, it is still just a vicious battle of words. They tell lies, we tell the truth. It's really that simple. They tell lies through our politicians, our media, our social media, our newspapers, our magazines, even our comics and kids programs. The worst of it, though, is through our schools. I've learned that during the Progressive era, while Woodrow Wilson was in office, our Congress was much smarter than our Congress today, and when the Progressives tried to run their crown jewel, the League of Nations, through our Congress, Congress stopped them cold, threw them out. Only they did not go away. They simply went underground. Their next goal, while underground, was to sneak into our classrooms and create the curriculums that taught our children. That they were successful is all too obvious, and today our major universities are leaning so far left that they need outriggers to stay upright. The rot is now seeped clear down into our preschools, grade schools, middle schools, and high schools. Instead of the 3 R's, all they seem to teach is hate. They learn to hate their school, to hate each other, to hate you, their parents, and especially to hate their country. And then they spend their time trying to figure out if they want to be male or female. To fight back effectively, we must teach the truth. We must teach it as clearly and as passionately as they spin their lies. We have a plan. The plan will teach the truth all over the country and will teach it as logically and as passionately as can be done. Will you help us? I'm asking for your help. Yes, it will cost you. I am not asking you to burn down your home, business, or crops, but I am asking for your help. First, before I ask you what your help is, I'm going to tell you the plan. What if we had a school system that, 1, did not allow critical race theory agenda principles, paid no attention to woke initiatives, did not subscribe to the Common Core agenda, taught the basic 3 R's with the same intensity as they did in the late 1800s, taught civics with the same intensity as they did in the late 1800s, did not categorize students just by age, but rather by their abilities, taught the history of our country with great pride and patriotism, allowed teachers to be paid by merit as part of their contract, not only allowed, but required prayer in our classrooms, required religious classroom credits for graduation, had very low tolerance for bad or lazy behavior, was a private school but still had free tuition, was a for-profit school with lots of happy investors, taught Georgic principles of business ownership rather than just how to be a good employee, encouraged students to build a business while still in school, and then participated by contract in those businesses with 10% ownership and consulted with students after graduation. That consultation included helping find funding for the student's company. Soon the school would own 10% of literally hundreds of businesses, and so eventually it would fund itself. Had boarding facilities for students from out of the local area. Kids could come from all over the country. Provided a possible major income for every member. Now that means you who are listening to this. And every member that decides to help us. Do you like it? Do you like it? Does this sound like a school you would like for your children or grandchildren? Notice the boarding facilities. Your student from Maryland can come to our North Carolina school or our Las Vegas, Nevada school. Plus anyone can join our online coursework. This is the school system we're planning. Now, my family has already built nearly 30 school campuses that presently teach over 35,000 K-12 students. If you live in Utah, Arizona, or North Carolina, you may know of them. They are called American Leadership Academy, or ALA. They're charter schools, and they're doing very well. In fact, one of them actually became the first charter school ever to win their state football championship. That was in Arizona. But they are still public schools and subject to state and federal oversight, which means they must adhere to Common Core and all the rest of that ilk. Now, we are starting over. The rot is just too deep. We can't change public schools. We're starting over, brand new, and going to go completely private. It is going to be expensive. Believe me, I know how much it's going to cost because members of my family built every single one of those campuses and are now administering the school buildings and paying the teachers. Our new program will not only provide money for our new schools, but will provide money for our members as well. What about the money? Why is it so important? Back to George Washington. He said, patriotism is not enough. He understood very well the costs involved with the revolution. When he was first called to become our commander-in-chief, he went to Boston and found over 20,000 men from all over the colonies who had come to fight. They came because they loved their country and were willing to fight and even die for their country. They soon found, however, that the very things they were fighting for, their homes, their wives, their children, their farms, they had to be cared for. They had to plant the crops, to harvest the crops, to mend the fences, to have money for shoes for their family and all the other things they needed for life. Patriotism was not enough then. It's not enough now. Everyone has to have enough money to live or they can't take the time to fight the fight. Since money was clearly needed to be part of our planning, we decided to make it a central part. Now every member, that's you, can earn a very good income by following our plan. Our plan comes in 5 phases. Phase 1 is this. Simply go to our website and order our stories. The cost is just $5 per month, and you'll get 5 stories downloaded to you every month. Then you go back and ask other people to do the same. When we reach a membership of 3,000 members, we'll begin phase 2 by paying our members a commission for every month. Every single sale of our stories made in your group down through 10 levels. Yep, this is multi-level marketing. Now, for those of you who have been given bad feelings about MLM, I won't take time now to correct you, but I will simply say that you have been deceived and need to be corrected, and here is how to do that. You can do that and learn the truth about MLM. Are you familiar with Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad, Poor Dad author? Probably. How about Donald Trump? That Donald Trump. They got together and wrote a book called Why We Want You to Become Rich. Guys, that is a book-sized defense of multi-level marketing. Then Robert Kiyosaki and his wife Kim wrote another book called The Business of the 21st Century. It is another book showing how MLM has become a very major player in modern business and how you can profit in it. I'd recommend that you buy one or both of these books and have your eyes opened. Both are available from Amazon. You see, MLM is possibly the last bastion of true capitalism left. And those satanic folks who do not like it, they don't like it at all. So they have spread lies about it, just like they have for everything else they don't like. I was surprised at how much of it in these books is from a woman's point of view. I guess that perhaps women are just smarter than men in this type of business. Well, back to our plan. Phase 1 is to build a large base of like-minded people. We do that by offering our true stories of our founding fathers for Lost Leaders' super low price of just $5 per month. For that, you get 5 stories every month. Two major benefits. First, you get the best defense in the world for your family against the CRT dogma. And two, you become a member of our American Capital Schools program and are participating in the building of the ACS schools of the future. Phase 2 begins when we have at least 3,000 members. We will begin to pay commissions on sale of stories that happens in your downline every month. It's only 20 cents per sale, but we will be paying it from as far away as your 10th level. Now, once you sponsor your second member, then you qualify to get paid through 12 levels. And once you get your third member sponsored, then you'll be paid through all 15 levels. The main reason we want you to sponsor at least 3 new members is because we need a lot of people to make this work. It may not seem like a good income producer, but it is. You see, if everyone were to find just 3, then there would be over 14 million in their downline, and you would be earning 20 cents a month from all of them. Phase 2 continues until we have at least 10,000 members, at which time we will start Phase 3 and increase the monthly cost to $24.95, and we'll include a monthly newsletter with that, the 5 stories. Then your commissions will rise to $1 per sale of our stories from every one of your downline members. Go figure that out. Yes, we are asking for your help by buying $5 per month package of 5 stories per month right now. Then go out and find at least 3 more people to do the same. Then train them and find at least 3 more themselves. This will provide all the money we need for the schools and the $1 per downline sale back to you. Well, that'll look pretty good too. You can find the complete business plan for ACS from Amazon. It is my latest book called How We Are Rebuilding the American Dream. Again, How We Are Rebuilding the American Dream. It's only $6.95 from Amazon. Please help. Please help. We're not asking you to burn your house down. We're asking you to start with $5 a month. Go to UncleSamSays.us. UncleSamSays.us. Come on, guys. UncleSamSays.us. Hey, thanks for listening. Remember, you're learning the truth. Tell your friends. Speak with boldness. And keep your powder dry.